So hello everybody. If you are new here, my name is Alyssa and I'm an avid reader and a self-published author, so I post a lot of reading and writing content on this channel. If any of that interests you, I'd highly encourage you to subscribe below. As the 2024 year is wrapping up, I've read a lot of good books and I'm very excited about what I'm going to read in 2025. So I've been doing a lot of planning for my 2025 TBR and I wanted to hop on here and share with you guys some of my most anticipated releases of 2025. There are quite a few. As I was putting together my TBR, I was like, there's enough here to probably make a separate video about this. I just wanted to talk about those books with you guys and get your opinions if you've read the series or if you are also really excited about any of these books coming out. Be sure to comment below. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts, and give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more reading or TBR videos in the future. With that, let's jump into the video. So one of the most anticipated releases next year for me is going to be the second book in the Crimson Moth series. So I think depending on the country you live in, the first book in the series was either called The Heartless Hunter or The Crimson Moth. I really loved this book. This was a 5-star read for me in 2024. If you haven't had a chance yet to watch my 2024 reading wrap up, I'm going to link that for you guys because it's a really good video and I'm going to be talking about a lot of the books that I mentioned in there. So you can see more of my reviews and more of my in-depth critiques or recommendations in that video. The second book in this duology is going to be released, I believe, on February 18th. And I loved this book. As I mentioned, I cannot wait for the second one to come out. And so this is probably one of the top 2 books I'm looking forward to being released in 2025. The second book in this series is going to be titled The Rebel Witch, and you can already pre-order this one on Amazon. I've personally pre-ordered the Audible. I really enjoyed the audiobook for the first book, and the narrator will be the same for the second, so I can't wait to listen to this one. Next up on my list, there is supposed to be the second book in the Quicksilver series released in 2025 as well. I believe there's no date specifically on this, but it is supposed to come out in fall of 2025. While this book was not my favorite, I definitely plan to read the second in the series. Again, I give a little bit more of an in-depth review on that 2024 reading wrap-up video, so I'm not going to jump into it here. If you want to hear my thoughts on this book, be sure to watch that video. So while this book does not have a date on it for release, I do plan on purchasing this one and pre-ordering it as soon as that becomes available. Third on my list is a very popular book that I'm sure everyone is looking forward to reading in January. This is released on January 21st, and this is going to be Onyx Storm. So this is the third book in the Fourth Wing series. I actually have not started or read any of this series before. However, my hopes are high for this series. Hopefully I'm not disappointed. Everyone raves about this series who's read and loved ACOTAR, which is one of my favorite series personally. So I have high hopes for this and I really do think I will enjoy it. I plan to read all 3 of these books in January of 2025. Next up is going to be a book that I also haven't had a chance to read, however comes highly recommended to me and I can't wait to read. And this is the book Metal Slinger. This was recommended to me by someone in my book club, and the second book in this series, Light Wielder, is going to be released early next year as well. This series is also a duology, and so this will complete the series itself. Again, I'm super excited to jump into this one. This is a romantasy duology as well, and if you've read this series, let me know what your thoughts are. Again, this one's not as widely popular as the Fourth Wing series by Rebecca Yarros, but I am really excited to jump into this one, and I have heard really good things about it. The next book that I'm super excited about reading in 2025 is going to be The Curse Carved in Bone. And this is by Danielle Jensen. This is the second book in this series, and this is also a duology, so the second book will wrap up this series in completion. And this book is set to be released on May 13th of 2025. The first book in the series was A Fate Inked in Blood, and I have not personally read that, so I will be reading both of these in 2025. However, they're rated really highly, and I have a feeling I will be reading both of them for sure. The next book I'm excited to read in 2025 is actually part of another duology that I have not started yet. The first book in the series is Anathema by Carrie Lake, and this is currently already released. However, I haven't gotten a chance to dive into it yet. I'm super excited to do so though, and most likely I will be reading this one with my book club. The second book in this duology is set to be released in January of 2025 as well, so we have a lot of new books coming right at the beginning of the year, which I'm super stoked for. And this one is really exciting for me. I personally love dark gothic fantasies, and this is exactly that. So I'm really excited to jump into this one, and I'm hoping it'll feel very different than the other books I've mentioned so far. The next book I want to mention, I don't know too much about, however, I am excited to jump into it. And this one's called The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. This will be the first book in the Stonewater Kingdom series, and I got this recommendation from Goodreads. The expected published date for this one is currently May 20th of 2025, although I don't think it's available for pre-order quite yet. The ratings on this are really good, and from my understanding, Rachel Gillig has already written some really great best-selling books, so I'm really excited to start the series and try reading some of her content. And the very last book I want to mention that I'm very excited to read in 2025 is going to be Something in the Walls by Daisy Pierce. I haven't read anything from Daisy Pierce thus far, but I'm excited to jump into this one as well. This one falls into the horror, mystery, thriller category, and it does sound like it plays on some psychology elements as well as maybe some paranormal / supernatural elements, which really intrigues me. This one is also being planned to release in February. I think specifically February 25th is the estimated release date. If you guys are excited to read any of these as well, let me know which ones you're most excited about in the comments below. If you're excited about any releases in 2025 that I didn't mention here, be sure to make a comment about them as well, especially if you think it's something I will enjoy. I will consider adding it to my 2025 TBR as well. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you guys are interested in seeing a full TBR video for 2025. I'm working on establishing that right now, and so I'd love to share it with you when I have that list ready. Again, thank you guys for watching if you've made it this far, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye guys.